Hey, what's up, guys? This is Mansplaining Mike. This is the Mansplaining Mike Show, and today we're going to get into some conspiracy theory news, and we're going to look at some of these rumors and see if whether or not we believe that the rumors are true and whether or not the conspiracies make more sense than what the mainstream media is putting out to us. In my opinion, some of the conspiracies seem to make a lot more sense, so we're going to also look into whether or not the government and the Secret Service actually tried to protect Trump, and whether or not government policies really endangered our president, President Donald Trump, or our former president and soon to be president. I know there's a whole bunch of people that are going to say I'm a conspiracy theorist just because I said our president. That's okay, I guess. I mean, conspiracy just means that you're not buying into the mainstream narrative. And I think a lot of us need to really start questioning it. Now, a lot of people are questioning whether or not the Joe Biden who came back after his supposed battle with COVID-19 is actually Joe Biden. So we're going to look into some of these videos and see what we think at the end. I'm going to react to it, and then I hope you guys leave some of your opinions in the comment section below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, guys. And let's get into this first video. Unless COVID makes you grow, this might not be the real Joe Biden. Or maybe it's just the camera angles or something. You guys decide for yourself when you see the evidence. Isn't that something? I've never seen an 80-year-old or 81-year-old. I don't even know how old the guy is right now. Somebody in his 80s hit his growth spurt, though. I mean, that's almost impossible, I would say. Or maybe it is impossible. I'm not a scientist. You guys tell me what you think. Is that the real Joe Biden? Or was he replaced? I mean, I don't know. That evidence is pretty strong there. I've never seen, like I said, an 80-year-old hit a growth spurt. Now we'll get into some more evidence that I had seen in some videos on TikTok and other places. They were saying that his hands looked too young and that his hands looked like that of a young man. So let's take a look at his hands up close and see if we think these are 80-year-old hands or if these are some young man pretending to be Joe Biden with the mask on or something.
Our planet from climate crisis is the existential threat. And I will keep fighting for my cancer moonshot so we can end cancer as we know it, because we can do it. I'm going to call for Supreme Court reform because this is...
Man, he must take excellent care of his hands. I mean, those are some young looking hands. Maybe it's some type of moisturizer he's using or something, though. I don't know the science behind young looking hands, but man, those must be some awesome moisturizing products. That's all I'm gonna say. Now we can get into whether or not the government was involved in the Trump assassination attempt. In my opinion, it seems kind of strange, like some of these video clips we're gonna see, some of these answers that were put to the Congress members that we're gonna see in the second video, and then just Democrats blatantly being violent and saying they wanted Trump to die. So let's get into some of these videos next. This first video, you'll see the crowd. And this is why I personally say that the government is 100% responsible. In my mind, there's no opinion that they were responsible. I'm not just talking about the Secret Service. I'm talking about our Congress members and our senators who put forth these laws that restrict our Second Amendment and our access to guns in public places. Even in stadiums, you can say it's a privately owned business or whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, these are settings that if these people would have had guns, they would have been able to stop this shooting from happening. So you can say that the government prevented the citizens from saving Trump, for number one. I mean, Trump survived, thank God. It was just a piece of his ear that got shot off, and that's extremely serious. I'm not trying to say it's just a piece of ear like it's not a big deal, but it could have been much worse. But let's take a look at how these citizens were so close that them even having a pistol would have been able to stop this from happening.
He was doing the job. I wouldn't even be doing this. I'd be at some beautiful places towards the ocean, the
Look, they're all pointing.
the Atlantic, maybe the Pacific.
Yeah, someone's on top of the roof. Look. There he is right there. Right there, see him? He's laying down, you see him?
Yeah, he's laying down.
And Scott, I'm here with you fighting like hell to get a Senate.
What's happening?
And to make sure we take back the White House, because if we do, we're going to make America better than other people. We're going to make it.
Yeah, look.
And it's
There he
not
is.
easy, because we have millions and millions of people in our country that shouldn't be here. Dangerous people, criminals. We have criminals. We have drug dealers. We have people that should not be here.
Right on the roof.
It's much tougher than it happens.
You went right on the roof with that.
Sorry about those notifications from my phone you guys heard in the background. If my producer was here, he would have been mad about that one. He always tells me to turn my notifications off before I shoot. They're still going off, so I guess I still didn't do it right. But anyway, guys, you could see in the crowd how close those people were. And they could see them on the camera like they were within maybe 25 yards. Maybe a little less, maybe a little bit more. But even with the pistol, they would have been able to take that shooter out. Or at least have made some noise where the rest of the police would have been able to notice that the shooter was there. If it's true that they didn't notice him, which is really hard to believe as well. Because, I mean, I heard the parents had called the police a couple hours before the shooting had ever happened, concerned they didn't know where their son was and they thought he might be doing something crazy. There was other rumors that he was in the direct line of the people who were, the snipers who were in the windows right behind him. And that shot was extremely close too, from that window to where the shooter was supposedly. I don't know. I didn't go to the ground and investigate myself. I've just seen videos that led me to believe that. And that particular video that I'm talking about, I don't have that right now, but when I see it again, I'll make another video on that one where you can actually see the view from the window. But like I said, I mean, the government has to take some type of responsibility just for these laws they make violating our Second Amendment. Another thing that really concerns me is the way that the Secret Service and the FBI really don't answer questions. And when they do, they don't really add up to making much of sense out of the situation. We're going to get into that right here from a video clip I got from Ultra MAGA Party, Max Evans on Getter. And you guys can see this stuff. I mean, I was shocked by what you guys are about to see. Hopefully it shocks you too and there's not just something wrong with me.
I'm just going to say it. Are you aware, sir, that many Americans believe this was very likely not a lone shooter, but a coordinated assassination attempt? Have you been getting those messages from people like I have?
I have not, sir.
You haven't? Well, there's a lot of people in this room that have been getting the same messages. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that a lot of Americans are like, this doesn't add up, this doesn't make sense, guys? How could this many things have gone wrong? Right? Like the things I pointed out, a 20-year-old kid, got 150 yards of the President of the United States with an AR-15, flew a drone to conduct site surveillance, was spotted with a rangefinder ranging targets, then lost, had advanced explosive devices on him with no military training. Nobody was placed in the most obvious spot to conduct counter-sniper operations. I was a sniper in the SEAL Team's Colonel. As soon as I got out of the SUV and I saw that that water tower, I was like, that's exactly where I'd be. Put me right there. So obvious. After partisan attempts to bankrupt him, imprison him for 750 years, and countless depictions as a modern-day Hitler, are you surprised, sir, that a lot of Americans are like, maybe there's more to this story?
I wouldn't begin to speculate about what the American people think, sir.
Colonel, did your team make entry and conduct investigation at the suspect's home prior to this shooting?
Excuse me, sir? I've asked that question.
Did your team make entry and conduct any investigation at the suspect's home?
I believe we had people that participated in that securing of it. There were bomb assets that we provided.
Mr. Chairman, can I have 30 more seconds?
Yeah, I'm letting everybody come.
Okay.
On the night of. Since then, none.
Did you get any reports from any of your agents of anything fishy at the home?
I was briefed on.
Was there any silverware found in the home or trash?
I have nothing in the briefing that I was given, sir.
Was it extremely clean, almost like a medical lab? Were you given any of those reports?
I was not giving any of those details, sir.
Okay, that's what I'm hearing. Interesting.
I mean, you guys see it for yourself. The government doesn't want to take any accountability for the actions of the Secret Service members that were on the ground. And our congressmen really put Donald Trump in danger in the first place by putting in place all of these unconstitutional laws. In my opinion, they're unconstitutional. I mean, if you look at the 1902 Dick Act, it separates the military from the citizenry, and it explains that the citizens should always have access to guns. At least that's how I interpret it, because we have to be able to defend our borders. That's the whole reason the Second Amendment was written, so that the citizens would have the opportunity to protect our borders if they were ever invaded, and be able to protect ourselves against a tyrannical government. I'm not going to tell you guys that the government is tyrannical, because that would sound like me pushing violence or something like that. Rhetoric, according to the Democrats. But what I am going to do is show you that the Democrats are pushing violence, and it's not really people like me who are just trying to point out that our constitutional rights are being violated. Democrats are actually pushing violence in real time. Like, they don't even seem to have any type of, way to censor themselves. They're too emotional. They don't even think before they speak. And in this clip, you can see that they actually want Donald Trump dead. Or at least this one does. And he's a pretty big wig in the Democratic Party, from what I understand.
Just sit back on the sidelines and say, oh, well, don't worry, this will all work itself out. They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump.
So that's Rick Wilson.
Isn't that crazy? He said they might need to try it again. So they weren't successful with executing Trump. He's saying they need to take another shot. It's absolutely insane. But every chance they get, they turn around and say that Donald Trump promotes violence, and Donald Trump uses his rhetoric to promote violence. But nothing they say ever seems to be promoting violence, even when they're right there in the open promoting violence. It's absolutely insane. It has to be a psyop. Everything they say is the opposite. They point at Donald Trump and say he's promoting violence, when in reality they're the only ones promoting violence, and they're doing it right in our faces, like we're too stupid to be able to see what they're doing. Anyway, guys, this was the Mansplaining Mike show. I'm Mansplaining Mike. I hope you had a good time. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Even if you didn't enjoy it, maybe somebody else will. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.